ತಕ್ಷಣದ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಹೊಸ ಸುದ್ದಿಗಾಗಿ www.vijaykarnataka.com ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಕನ್ನಡ ದಿನಪತ್ರಿಕೆಯ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಮತ್ತು ಮನರಂಜನೆಯ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್.
And in a candid interview, the world's fastest man explained how his journey to greatness started on the cricket field.
I started out playing cricket, and that's how I really became an athlete, because I used to be a fast bowler, used to run in, and my coach sat back and said, you know what, you should try track and field. Let's just try it, because he used to see me running so fast. So I did it, and I started winning. So I just said, you know what, why not continue?
Bolt revealed he has spoken to Shane Warne about playing 2020 for the Melbourne Stars in the Big Bash League.
Well, he has contacted me and asked me if I'm serious with, if I really want to do it, then he can put in a few words and get it.
अरे इधर तक ही उसको बता, उसको क्रीज उधर तक ही है. स्कोर बता उसको. 8 वाइड 10 10. Ball is live also. Ball इधर 10 runs और 35 runs चाहिए सिर्फ.
39 from 39 balls. Amran Akmal is now the highest run getter for Pakistan in this innings. Maroof with a wonderful hard-hitting 69 stole the show early in the day. Gould 3 for 61. One apiece for Asif, who once again was splendid with his line and direction. Sami 1 for 49. Had a promising stint today with the ball. Sri Lanka in desperate need of another wicket. The required rate exactly 5. Down the track over point. Didn't really come off the middle of the bat, but still he ran away for a 4. Bandara is bowling his last over, and he's been put for plenty in his last couple of overs by Afridi.
I think Afridi here was looking to go over cover. And he wasn't. Got a thickish outside edge. It's good enough. Doesn't matter how you get them. Another 4 to Afridi, 5 in total. And this game's not over. He takes a wicket. Mohammad Sami next in.
Quite interesting to see the expressions on the face of the Sri Lankan keeper, because there's every likelihood that he'll be in business, because Afridi is coming down the track almost on every delivery. Few nerves floating around more in the Sri Lankan camp than Pakistan. Pakistan quite used to seeing Afridi operate in this fashion. Mahela Jayawardene wants another wicket desperately. Change of angle coming around the wicket now, the leg spinner. Down the track, it was in his range, and it has been hit extremely hard by Afridi. He's having a ball out there. No mercy. He's going after the leg spinner. He's hit 6 fours in his last 12 balls. Really is on song, Afridi. Terrific hitting from him.
Well, there's power, but he's picking the gaps as well. There is a man down there, but it's just hit too hard. And the placement's good. 6 fours already now, Shahid Afridi. Coming back over the wicket now, Bandara.
Sense has prevailed, I think, is a lot better bowling from over the wicket, because he can throw the ball wide outside the off stump when he's looking to come down the track, Afridi. Also, we haven't seen the floater or a wrong one from Malinga Bandara. It's been very much a one-dimensional show against Afridi.
What about the fast, quick one? Wide outside off stump. It's just about coming down the wicket every ball. Shahid Afridi. Fast one down the leg side or wide or off.
Down the track, and that's muscled away through mid-off. Has it gone all the way? Umpire is confirming from the fielder at long off. It's a 6. Would you believe it? Hardly left the ground. A skimmer. Terrific hitting from Afridi. He's got everyone on the feet here on the ground. They're loving it.
And 50 partnership is up for these two as well. Hands on head. Here he goes again. And that's bigger. That is massive. He's not going to stop. Once he gets on a roll, he'll just keep going, Shahid Afridi. He is in the mood.
Might as well enjoy it. Cracking shot. Some great drives and great batting from Afridi. Really have been massive through the offside today. 4-4-6-6 on 45. Afridi in no time. He's not finished. He's miscued that one. And it's gone for 6. I think he overran the ball to field that long off. Bandara is gutted. Reaches his 50 with another strong stroke. a mishit. He was looking as if he would lift the ball over long on. This is more like it. That's travelled the distance. 32 off the over. Second only behind Herschel Gibbs. This is batting at his best. Afridi at his best. Pakistan 2-8 for 5.
Oh, it's been superb. The facilities have been great. The other teams have been really, they've been tough opposition, but it's been great to play against them and just learn from them. Our boys have learned quite a bit, especially on these great decks. The ball's coming on nicely, you get value for your shots, which is really good for them. We had a tough day on the first day. We didn't quite get over the line there. We only scored 140, which was never going to be enough in a 35-over match. It took a little while for the boys to realise that they had to work the singles. Yesterday we had a better day. We got 213 and restricted the other team to 180, managed to bowl them out. So it was a bit of a better day, but again we didn't bat the full 50 overs. And then today, much better day, we managed to get to 258 for 5 today, so a much better day with 3 boys getting 50s. Bowlers, we've got quite an array of bowlers actually. We've left 3 quick bowlers at home who didn't come over here for differing sporting reasons. And we've got another couple of bowlers that tend to hit good lengths most of the time, and we've got 4 or 5 good spinners as well, which most of the time do the work. We've got Robbie O'Donnell, who's a part of the New Zealand Under-19 setup. He went to the World Cup and averaged late 40s, and he's still got a couple more years at Under-19 level. This is his last year for school though, so yeah, he's a pretty good player, good batsman, got all the shots. So.
Personally, I think a big out of right, maybe a few too many starts. Should be kicking on, but I think the boys have actually done all right over here. It's considering we haven't had much preparation, only about 3 or 4 weeks of indoor training, haven't been able to get outside, so I think the boys are actually learning quite a bit about their games over here. We're finding it really great to actually have some good weather and be outside playing some cricket at this time of the year, because we never really get the opportunity over in New Zealand, so I think all the boys are cherishing it, and it's a great opportunity to play over here. Standard over cricket here is very high. We never really have these sort of big tournaments in New Zealand, so being able to play the best players of South Africa is actually just a great opportunity for the boys, and really good opportunity for us to get outside as well.
He was out of the dugout and he has moved out of the middle with great purpose. And this could well be the nub of the game here. He gets in, he gets going. Good night, Essex. He's that type of player, isn't he? He has as many bad days as good days. That sort of a day as you're going to have today. Of course, you always feel threatened by him because he has that ability to turn the game around on his head. I think for sure, though, Charlie, you'll be desperately keen to make an impact. Okay, for his new county. What field have we got? Deep and straight. We've got a deep long on, that's Shah. We've got a deep mid wicket. We've got a mid off is up. He's off the mark with a little top guide down the third man. He's such a dynamic pitcher of the ball. There are occasions when he goes to run before he can walk almost. Just needs to give himself a bit of a chance to have a look at it. Can't go straight away. No, but that very couple of boundaries and that soon sort that race out. Lux is in, bottom edge, ball ricocheting around, no run, so this is turning out to be a very good over. Dot, wicket, 1, dot. Really need to back this up after they won against Glamorgan the other night. It's like that, that's got a bit of wood. It's a toothpick, that's for sure. Like the railway sleeper. Excellent over by Wright, just 3 times. Can you explain it? That was a dance, she said. I know what he meant. This is a bold move by Essex. Philip, there's a challenge to Boombo. Go on, hit me out of the park if you can.
Afridi started off in fine fashion in the last game. Got off to a quick start and then it was Balaji who dismissed him. But he had done the damage by them as far as the Indians were concerned. And he's picked him away. It's gone all the way for 6. Straight on. Good shout there, but obviously going down. Afridi wants to. He'll get it. Again he goes on the onside. Another boundary. This is what he does at the top of the order. This is why he's there at the top of the order. Destructive to say the least. If he pitches it up, he'll go over mid-off. Very good catch, but it's behind the boundary. He pitched it up. Bang over the side. Bang again through the offside. Wow, what an over for Pakistan. What entertainment already. 23 of the over. 32 for no loss. Full toss, gets the treatment. 6. Third of the innings for Afridi. He goes again. Another one. What a welcome to the crease for Anil Kumble. 2 balls, 2 sixes. Afridi has moved on to 33 and 4 sixes in this innings. He goes over mid-off. Into the boundary. That's a good cricketing shot. He didn't quite time it, but the intention was right. He was looking to hit in the right direction. Goes again. Over long on. A huge hit for 6. The 50 comes up for Pakistan. Balaji. Oh, in the air, beats square leg into the boundary. The thing for Balaji now is not getting any straight drive for 4. It's a quick outfield, and it's Shahid Afridi's bat. Another quick 50 for Shahid Afridi. And that's 6 number 200. It's just staggering when you look at it. 6 number 200 for Shahid Afridi. The 6th of this innings is moved to 59 of 21. Safe enough and long enough. I can tell you it didn't come from the middle of the bat. That's 6 number 7 for Shahid Afridi.
Well, Sanjay, I know one thing. The middle.
He's got it through. That should be 4. Even Cap won't get there. This outfield is lightning quick.
You can't do
anything predictable to Shahid Afridi. There he goes for 6, number 8. And it lands on the Shamiana. It's another big one from Shahid Afridi. 4 more and he equals the world record for most. Another 4. In fact, not too many people are bothering to applaud the 4. They're just looking for those 6s. Shahid. Another big one. It has gone high up and safely over the advertising hoarding. Goes over the top again. Mohammad Kaif after it. And could be one of those rare stops while the ball is running towards the boundary road. He goes over the top again. 1, 2, couple of bounces into the advertising hoarding. Shahid Afridi just blazing away. That's gone quickly, very quickly to the cover boundary. What can he do? Everybody, in fact, have a sheepish smile on their face. It's a smile of disbelief. It's a smile of resignation. And in the air, down the ground, 400 in one-day internationals. The whole Pakistan dressing room get up. It's been an outstanding innings. The second fastest 100 in one-day internationals.
Well, you've got to stand up for this one. This is an important game. 2-all tied in the series. Shahid Afridi, 102 of 45 balls. He's just run away with the game.
He's bowled him. The first time he's tried to defend, play a forward defensive stroke, and he's been bowled by Harbhajan Singh. Something to cheer for the supporters here for the Indian team, but what an innings from this man.
Not happy, Steyn. Not happy at all. Pollard is a big man. You can see he's disgruntled.
Oh, this is funny. Pollard seemed to move in Steyn's direction there. Just to put him off slightly. You should have run down the upside of the stumps and instead ran the other way. Ran interference.
teams equally strong. We should have a terrific game. One bounce and over the fence. Delivery. One bounce and over the fence. A huge six. What a powerful shot. One bounce and over the fence.
It for a single. Over the top and six. Brilliant timing that. 4 runs. Good shot. He's overstepped and it's a no ball. Over the top and 6. Over the top and 6. Brilliant timing that. 4 runs.
You see that? That's mind-blowing 6. Absolutely.
So that's it for this video. Click the red subscribe button because every day I upload something useful like this. Click the like button if you like this video.
Well fielded. Now they want Mark Waugh off the ground, and I think my reaction, I've got to say, was that Mark Waugh was out. Lehmann has left. Will they call for a replay here?
I agree totally. My initial reaction was that Darren Lehmann had gone past Mark Waugh, and Ganguly's quite right to ask, but I guess once the umpires made a decision, Tendulkar, Ganguly, they're all saying, hey, and Mark Waugh's getting involved in the conversation. If I were Mark Waugh, I'd be walking well away from this conversation because he can only lose. If they call for the third umpire, I would suggest that Mark Waugh is in trouble. Now, the umpires are going to confer whether they can actually call for the replay, Green.
Well, I mean, the object of the exercise here should be to get it right. This is actually a very significant point. It looks as if they're going to ask for it. There's been no signal here. So it may well be that we as a television company will be asked to supply some replays if possible here. Bear in mind that we haven't got any pictures or any cameras exactly square. We've got them in line with the stumps for the runouts. And this is where sometimes it's just a little bit unfair, where we're expected to be the adjudicator here. This could be significant, as David Hooks pointed out. He did say that if Lehmann was joined by a new batsman, well, then it could make a bit of a difference. And Mark Waugh, however, is still out there. Now then, did they cross? Now, you've got to get two things. You've got to bear two things in mind here. Where were the batsmen at the time the bails were taken off? So here we go. Waugh says no. Waugh, oh, he does go past him. He does go past him. Well, just looking at that replay, I would say Waugh went past him. This could be interesting. Lehmann may have to come all the way back out here. Waugh was adamant, said, no, I didn't go past him. So, well, the Indians come into play there, and they say, I want a replay. That's the Indian captain. Now, this is from sideways on. This will tell us the story. Here goes Lehmann. The question is, what happens? We see the bails. The bails go off. There's no batsman in play there. There's no doubt someone's out. Well, let's have a look if this angle gives us anything. Your view, David?
Oh, look, Mark Waugh, from the naked eye, he went past. And in this situation, from this angle here, will tell you that Mark Waugh has gone past. Now, whether he thinks it is a two-dimensional picture with a three-dimensional situation, that may be the only thing. But look at the shadow of Lehmann will tell you. The shadow of Lehmann, and Mark Waugh has clearly gone past that shadow. So that's why Mark Waugh, I felt, had to stay out of the argument. Darren Lehmann, very much a team-orientated decision. He's just walked straight off.
Yes, I think that's what he's done. But I think you're looking at the shadows there. Let's just watch the ball come in. This is going backwards. Now we've got to go forwards and just have a look to see exactly where they get to here. Now the ball's coming in. Watch the shadows. They equal there. And do they go on? A little bit further on. The ball's coming in. Mark Waugh now into a position where his legs come together. There's no doubt in my mind that Mark Waugh is the man out there looking at it at that angle. Very close, mind you.
Well, pretty tough for the third umpire to make a definitive. With the angle of parallax law, I guess he had to make that decision, but it looked as though he'd gone past. And, well, Darren Lehmann has done the absolute right thing. He just scooted off the ground. We should mention also that the umpires in the middle didn't make the third umpire signal. Really, did they? They just picked up their walkie-talkies.
Well, I mean, sure, they didn't make the signal, but they did ask the third umpire. There's no doubt about that.
Hi there, I'm Jody McQuillan. I'm the librarian from the high school. I get to read chapter 11. It's called the jinx. From the drain pipe, the animals watched Paul put out the fire. He dragged what papers he could out of the newsstand and got a bucket of water to douse the rest. And he watered down the walls to make sure that they wouldn't flare up later. When the danger was over, he called up Papa Bellini on the telephone. "What a mess," said Tucker Mouse, looking at the soggy, smoldering piles of paper and newspapers. No one knew what to say. "What are you going to do, Chester?" said Harry the cat finally. "I'm going to go back there," said Chester. "If the Bellinis find me gone, they'll think I set the fire and ran." "What makes you think they won't think you set the fire and stayed?" said Tucker. "I'll have to take that chance," said Chester. Before the cat or the mouse could say anything else to stop him, he hopped over to the newsstand. Paul had told the engineer that he would miss a few trips on the shuttle and that he was going to wait for the Bellinis. He didn't want anyone monkeying around with the cash register while the cover was off. The conductor thought that the cups and the bags from the animals' party had been left over by Mario and by Papa. While he was taking them over to the trash barrel, Chester jumped on the shelf. Nothing there had been burned, but there was a smoky smell on everything. The cricket took a downhearted leap into the cage and settled himself for what might come. It didn't take the Bellinis very long to arrive. They had taken a taxi, and when the Bellinis took a taxi, you could be sure that it was an emergency. Chester could hear them hurrying down the steps from the street. Papa was there trying to soothe Mama, who was wheezing heavily from asthma and excitement. And when she saw the heaps of scorched magazines and newspapers, she began to moan and shake her head. Papa eased her down into the stool, but it was still covered with water, so she stood right up again with a wet spot on her skirt. "Ruin, we're in ruin," she sobbed. "Everything's burned." Papa comforted her as best he could by saying, "It's only just a few stacks of the Ladies' Home Journal that has been lost." But Mama wouldn't believe everything less than complete destruction had come to all of them. Mario, who brought up the rear of this sad parade, thought first for the safety of his cricket. He saw that Chester was in his cage, though, and decided it would be best to keep quiet until Mama's outburst of grief had subsided. Paul had told them what happened, how he smelled the smoke and heard the alarm ringing. Then he came to the part about the animals who had escaped from the burning newsstand. "So," said Mama Bellini in her despair, changing into anger, "animals in the newsstand again. Didn't I tell you?" She lifted her forefinger at Mario. "Didn't I say that Cricket would ask in his pals? He probably set the fire. He's a firebug." Mario didn't have a chance to speak. He would open his mouth to defend Chester, but before he could say a thing, the words were drowned in Mama's flood of reproaches. She'd found someone on whom she could blame her unhappiness, and there was no stopping her. Then a pause came, and Mario said meekly, "My Cricket would never do anything like burn up our newsstand." "The fact remains," said Mama. "We had a fire." "But crickets are good luck," said Mario. "Good luck," said Mama indignantly. "He eats money. He commits arson. He's a jinx." "That's what. He's good luck going backwards. And he's got to go," she said, and she folded her arms across her chest. It was an attitude that Mario knew very well and meant the absolute end of everything. "I could keep him somewhere else," the boy offered. "No," said Mama, shaking her head as firmly as a door being closed. "He's a jinx, he goes." Papa put his fingers to his lips to signal that Mario couldn't say anything more, and the two of them began to clean up. They carried away all the hopelessly burned magazines and tried to salvage some that had only been scorched. Mario mopped the floor of the newsstand while Mama spread out the papers to dry. By the time they finished, it was almost the hour for the first wave of commuters. Chester was lying on the floor in his cricket cage. He felt so guilty because even if he hadn't set the fire, in a way the fire was his fault. If he hadn't invited everyone into the newsstand, it wouldn't have happened. And it was his playing of the rumba that had made Tucker want to dance, and so tipped over the matches. And he did eat the $2 bill. He began to believe that he really was a jinx. During the early morning rush hour, Mario was especially eager in his shouts of, "Paper, mister?" and "Time or life, mister?" Papa was more active than usual too, but Mama sat glumly on the stool with a gray, determined look on her face. Despite the fact that selling the morning went very well, she wouldn't change her mind. After the rush was over, Papa went out to buy a new lock. Chester heard the soft scratching on the back of his Kleenex box, and a familiar face peeked out. "What's going on?" whispered Tucker Mouse. "Are you crazy?" Chester said under his breath. "All they need to do is catch you here." "Ah, I had to find out how you were doing," said Tucker. "They're gonna throw me out," sighed Chester. "Oh," Tucker moaned. "And it was me that did it. Supposing I give you the rest of my life savings, maybe we could buy them off?" Chester leaned his black little head up against the bars of the cricket cage. "Not this time," he said. "Mama's got her mind made up. I don't blame her either. I wish I'd never come to New York." "Oh, Chester," wailed Tucker Mouse, "don't say that. You make me feel like a rat, and I'm only a mouse." "It's not your fault, Tucker," said Chester, "but I've been nothing but bad luck since I came." Without knowing what he was doing, the cricket began to chirp to ease his feelings. He found that it helped somehow if you sang your sadness. He wasn't paying much attention, and just by an accident, he played the first few notes of an Italian folk song that he had heard the night before. It was so melodious and so sweet that it fitted his mood exactly. Mama Bellini was untidying a bundle of the Herald Tribune, and she heard the chirping. At first she didn't know what it was. "Che cosa est questa?" she said in Italian, which means, "What's that?" Chester stopped playing. "Chi cantava?" said Mama. "Who was singing?" Mario looked at his mother. Usually when she spoke in Italian, it meant that she was in a good mood, but that couldn't be true today. Now Tucker Mouse was a very good judge of character, both animal and human. He thought that he heard a kind of a softness in Mama Bellini's voice. "Play some more," he whispered to Chester. "She hates me," said Chester. "It'll only make her more angry." "Do as I tell you," commanded the mouse urgently. So Chester started to chirp again. He was in such disgrace anyway. What difference could it make? The piece he was playing was called "Come Back to Sorrento." And by the greatest good luck, it happened to be Mama Bellini's favorite song. Back in Naples, Italy, when Papa was courting her before they came to America, he used to come beneath her window on a moonlit night, and he'd sing this ballad to her on the plunking of his old guitar. As the cricket chirped, the whole scene came back to Mama. The still warm night, the moon shining down on the velvety bay of Naples, and Papa singing to her. Tears welled up in her eyes as she thought of the bygone times, and very softly she began to murmur the words to the song. Chester Cricket had never played with so much skill before. When he heard Mama singing, he slowed his tempo so that she could keep up without straining. When she was loud, he was too. And when she was softer, he got choked up with emotion, and her voice dwindled. But always his chirping carried her along, keeping her right on beat in the right tune. He was the perfect accompanist. Mario was dumbfounded. He stared, astonished, at the cricket cage and then at his mother. It was as marvelous for his mother as to be singing it as for the cricket to chirp his familiar songs. Sometimes when she was very happy, Mama Bellini whistled, and once or twice Mario had heard her hum. But now, here, she was crying and warbling like an Italian nightingale. Chester finished, "Come back to Sorrento." "Keep it up, squealed Tucker Mouse. "She's a sucker for sad songs." Before Mama's mood had a chance to wear off, Chester began chirping the selection from an opera that he'd played during the party. Mama didn't know the words to the opera, but she hummed some of the tunes along with him. Mario was still as stone. Papa Bellini came back from the locksmith's. Coming down the stairs, he was surprised not to hear his wife and Mario calling out the papers, but when he got nearer to the newsstand, he was even more surprised to hear the strains of the Grand March from Aida coming from the cricket cage. His chirps, opera? "He chirps that?" exclaimed Papa. His eyes looked as big as two hard-boiled eggs. "Shh," said Mama with a wave of her hand. Chester's memory for music was perfect. He had to hear a piece only once to remember it forever, and when he'd finished all the operatic numbers, he stopped. "Should I go on to pop tunes?" he whispered to Tucker Mouse, who was still hidden behind the Kleenex box. "Wait a while," said Tucker. "See what happens." Mama Bellini had a dreamy look in her eyes, and she put her arm around her son. "Mario, no cricketer who sings Torino a Sorrento so beautifully could possibly start a fire. He can stay a while longer." Mario threw his arms around his mother's neck. "You hear? You hear?" squealed Tucker Mouse. "You can stay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And this is only the beginning. I'll be your manager, okay?" "Okay," said Chester. And so began the most remarkable week in Chester Cricket's, or any cricket's, life. Stay tuned for Chapter 12. Thanks for watching.
Very good. Nice and relaxed. So you're just over here, working the batsman over, you're just staying here, yep, make it wait a little bit. Nice and relaxed, just have a look around. Nice and relaxed. Don't worry about anything. When we need a wicket, we need a... Because otherwise you go, right, okay. That makes you rush more. Yeah. Just nice, relax. Yeah, what's happening? Want to have a drink? Right, yeah, feels pretty good. Right, let's go. Thank you. Nice and relaxed. Good. Wow. Woo. Woo. See how quick that came off the pitch too? Beautiful. Beautiful.
Lovely. That was the best. You should work with me on the pitch.
Yes. Yes. And exactly. And the more calm and relaxed you are, the more chance you've got of that. If you get rush, we need a wicket, come on, come on. That's when you might be a bit round arm, or you're too quick, or your stride's too big. Yeah. Bowling is all about rhythm. And if you keep this nice calmness through here, nice and relaxed, and get that arm up just a smidgen higher, they won't play you. Good, look at that. That drifted big too. That drifted too, did you see that? Yeah, drifted big time. Very good, very good. Nice relax, that's it, nice relax.
I want to see you bowling just like your flipping one like that.
My flipper?
Yeah.
No, I bowled my flipper, so I click my fingers, put it in there, bowl it like that. So my flipper would come out like this. So then I'd put these ones, so I'd really only bowl it with those two.
Yeah.
I'd put that finger on there just for, so it doesn't look, so people will be harder to detect it. Yeah. And that flipper there, and then I'd really just use those two to do it. So come out like.
I learned that, you know, in the end, you know, when Moni was used to do that, I did that in last 3 years of my
5 or 6 foot, didn't you?
Yeah.
Against that.
Yeah, watch this. I learned that.
There you go. I'll try one more too. Generally what it looks like, if I bowl one to you this end,
ये इसका नीचे आ जाता है, ऊपर जाएगा ना उतना ही.
It's like the batsman goes high and short. Go back, so I do that, or back and cut, LB or bowl.
It's different pace, natural pace.
What's that?
That is natural pace. You can put anything on the ball.
You want to keep your arm the same pace. Same pace.
ऐसे करते हैं, ऐसे करते हैं. ये करता है ऐसे, ये वाली ये वाली. तो ऊपर से छोड़ते हैं कि ये नीचे से ऐसे.
That's it.
Exactly. ये चुटकी करते हैं जिसमें ये चुटकी मार.
Yeah, brilliant. That's not bad. That's good.
चुटकी मार. That's what I mean.
That's good. It's straight though. It's hard. It's hard to get that. It's completely opposite. When we bowl leg break that way, the flipper goes that way. It's different. It takes a while. Here's the other thing. Every batsman that comes out to face you will know that you've got a wrong-un, back spinner and a leg spinner. And most batsmen don't want to be deceived or not pick something the leg spinner bowls. So when you bowl a leg break, sometimes you bowl a little bit more overspin, sometimes you bowl a little bit more side spin. The batsman goes, oh, is that it? Because you haven't bowled it for a while. Keep them guessing. Just keep bowling your leg breaks. You don't have to bowl a wrong-un or a straight one because you haven't bowled one for a couple of overs. Don't bowl it. Just don't let them get off the strike. Just keep one batsman down there the whole time. Because what will happen, if you keep bowling there, they play and miss, block, let one go, block. Geez, how am I going to go off strike here? They'll play a big shot. That's when you throw that one a little bit wider for the big drive. All those things, just leg break, and let them start to look at it and go, oh, is that it? And then they go, oh, I'm not sure. Out.
It's very good advice. 3 over अगर शेन मोहन बैटिंग कर रहा है तेरे साथ और 3 ओवर इधर तक कर रहा है, then he think, you know, I'm gonna get out. ये फिर निकल के मारेगा, आउट मारेगा, उसमें विकेट मिल जाती है आपको. That's why all the point ये full toss करता था ना, when he used to bowl full toss or sometime leg spinner do bowl full toss, both, and he used to and suddenly batsman, did I make any mistake? It's just a mind game. Once sometime you go to play with the batters.
And the other thing is you used to get wickets with it because you go block, block, block. I can't play it, play a miss, block. Oh, free ball. Try and get it. Because they haven't got one for a while, they try and overhit it, and that's how you get the wicket. Short one wide. Oh no, point. And if you get that shape again, that arm up a bit higher, relaxed here, even if you are a little bit short outside the off stump, the amount of times you get a catch at point because you get that extra bounce. You go back, oh, that's bounced on me, caught at point. True.
Come on, boy. Ramchadit. Come on. देख के बॉल करके बॉय क्या हो रहा है चलो दिन बहुत है बॉय चलो दिन चलो राइट करके बहुत अच्छा उदित ऐसे सोच के पूरा को रीड करके बॉल एक्स्ट्रा नहीं है बस एक्स्ट्रा नहीं बस एक्स्ट्रा नहीं
A superb shot, square of the wicket. It's going to be 4 runs. Akib straying, dropping it short, and on this wicket, this comfortable pace, Sidhu had no problem at all in dispatching it to the square leg boundary for 4.
That's a lovely shot over the head of Imran, and this time nobody can stop it. It's 4 runs. A half volley on the pads of Sidhu, leaned into that and deliberately played it over the infield. Through mid-wicket, rocked into the fence and bounced back. That's hit hard and straight. Salim Malik stops it, juggles with the ball and misfields. The ball crosses the boundary ropes.
A good shot by Sidhu. A typical one-day cricket shot. He pulled him from outside the off stump to the mid-wicket boundary for 4. 27 overs gone. 28th coming up. Mushtaq to Sidhu. That's 4 runs from the moment it left the bat. And that is Sidhu's 50.
Another superb knock, falling Srikanth.
A crashing blow. 6.
To be again bowling to Sidhu.
Fine shot.
4 runs. Nicely timed, off the toes, over mid-wicket. Oh yes, well played. Nice little touch.
Full toss, swung away to the deep square leg fence for 4 by Sidhu, and he is now on 99. It's been a magnificent innings by him. Shoaib bowling to him. And that's his 100. A delighted Sidhu.
And if India can score about, say, 270, 280 runs in 50 overs, so I think the 2 games...
Bowled him. Sidhu is bowled. 253 for 2, but what a fine innings from him. He's put India almost on the road to victory, and he deserves the standing ovation as he comes back.
Are you ready for the good times?
Leo, Leo, ooh la la, ooh la 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 la, ooh Leo, le 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 Leo, 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 ooh la 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 la, ooh Leo, ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la, ooh le, ooh la 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 Leo, ooh la 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 la, ooh Leo, ooh la 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 Leo, ooh la 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 la, ooh Leo.
Divided by teams, united by Kingfisher, the king of good times.
Cricket Australia approached QT Blue Box to help refine a new device that gives cricketers audible feedback on the bowling of a no ball.
Well, the need for a no ball device in our game is pretty important. Even now it's probably more important with the T20 cricket and one-day cricket, where a no ball actually costs you a free hit. We've been looking at this device, well, a device like this, for a while now. After sort of a few things went wrong and the reliability went down the chute, we decided to outsource it, and that's where the university came in. It's a pretty simple device. It's come a long way from our prototype anyway, which was a big cumbersome box. So a beam of light obviously shines out of here, across the front line wherever we want, picks up on the reflector strip on this side, and if the foot crosses it, beep, a very annoying sound comes out of it. We've issued one out to each of the states, and we keep a couple here, and we've also put a couple on the road with the Australian team. So we're really happy with this device. It's simple to use, and it makes our practice a lot more perfect.